Hi everyone, so I've decided to do a Draw My Life video. This was trending about 7 to 8 years ago and I've decided to do one today, so I hope you enjoy. So it all begins on the 1st of February 1996, the day I was born. So as you can see, this is me being born. When I was born, I wasn't breathing, I was blue, so the doctor had to slap me to life. So prior to me, there was my dad, my mum and my older brother, Shane. As you can see here. So as we were growing up, my dad was the full-time worker and my mum was the stay-at-home mum. My mum was the one that took us to and from playgroup and school. So this is me on my first day of playgroup. So this was my first best friend called Charlie. We were inseparable. We made mischief. We had such a great time growing up. We used to go over to each other's houses, play weddings and everything. This is now me drawing my mum, pushing the pushchair with me in to go and fetch my big brother from school. When we fetched him, Shane and me would swap. So Shane would actually get in the pushchair and I would be the one to walk home. A little story there. So this next story is I was 2 years old and we went on a family holiday to Portugal. So when we were in Portugal, I actually fell out of a really high window and I nearly died, but I landed on the sand and not the rocks, luckily. So when I was 4 to 5 years old, I started infant school. And I quite liked infant school. I still had my best friend Charlie who came with me. And what am I drawing? I'm drawing some grass right now. Oh, so yeah, this is me and Charlie I'm drawing. So Charlie once said to me, shall we bang heads? Because if you went into the nurse at the school, you would get a sticker. So we decided to bang heads together so we could get a sticker. And this is us getting a sticker in a minute from the nurse. So this drawing now is the block of classrooms that you were in when you were in year 2. And when you were in year 2, if you were good at school, you got to have a friend with you and you used to be able to take the bell out and bring it along the playground when it was dinner time or the end of school. So this is just a little demonstration of me and Charlie once being good and ringing the bell. So the next drawing is a picture of our house, like the family home that we live in now. And in the garden, my dad was doing the decking. And whilst my dad was doing the decking, my mum took me and my brother to go and collect our new kittens, which we named them Nelson and Barney. We did once have a kitten before Nelson and Barney, but that kitten passed away quite soon on. So yeah. So on a lot of our Saturdays and Saturday nights, we stayed over at my grandparents' house. My nana and granddad have been absolutely incredible. They have been the best grandparents any grandchildren could ever wish for. They always kept us busy. They took us to the zoo. They took us everywhere. And my nana did a lot of baking with me and my brother. And there is a little story which you'll see in a minute. So my mum and my granddad went on holiday for a week once. So my nana looked after us, and for the whole week my nana just made us make Christmas cards. We weren't ill, but we pretended to be ill, and my mum was fuming. So this is me drawing Spain. So every year we were quite privileged in the fact that my grandparents had a place in Spain. So we used to go to Spain every year on holiday with my grandparents and then also with my parents a different time of the year. This is me drawing the block of apartments. And next to our apartment but one, we made a friend called Anna who was, I think, 1 or 2 years younger than me, but we used to spend some days with her. I used to try and learn Spanish with her, and yeah. So this is me drawing the lake. So there was a place in Spain where we used to go, and it was where you could jump off the cliffs into a lake, and we used to take Anna with us there as well, and we just used to have the time of our lives. So again, this is just me saying that me and Anna used to teach each other Spanish and English. So the next drawing is me drawing the junior school. So I was still best friends with Charlie at junior school, but I also had a group of girls who were my best friends as well, which included Hannah, Eden, Bethan, Rianne and Sophie. So back to me and Charlie, we used to, like I said, cause a bit of mischief. We thought we were the class clowns, and when we were in year 6, we thought we had sort of a bit of a role. So we decided to pretend that we were midday supervisors, and we found a red card on the floor, and a red card meant you'd been naughty at dinner time. So we decided to go up to a year 3, give them this red card and make them stand out. And so this person stood out for the whole of the dinner time. I'm now drawing some benches because this was my favourite subject at school, and it was PE, and this is us doing some bench ball in PE. So now I'm drawing the secondary school. So when we went to secondary school, we all got mixed up. So I wasn't with my original friends from juniors and infant school. We had to make sort of new friends in our new forms. A teacher's class called Miss Wallace, and I made a friend called Megan and Chloe. So ever since the age of 4, I had always done horse riding, and the girl called Alex was the daughter of the people that owned the stables that I went to. Alex actually went to my school, but we just didn't like each other. But we actually soon became best friends. And I used to go over to Alex's house in the morning. We used to have sleepovers, have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do all the mucking out. We just had the time of our lives. We used to go into her woods, make YouTube videos, listen to sort of music videos. We used to ride all the time. We did triathlons. We went swimming together and everything. I also did swimming lessons. So this is my attempt of me drawing swimming lessons. I did rainbows, brownies and guides, as well as an activity after school. So as well as going to Spain most years, my parents used to take me and my brother camping. So I actually quite enjoyed it. We used to go on some rope swings, go over some lakes. We used to create dens. It was just a lot of fun. And we used to also go camping with another family as well who had children as well. So back to secondary school. This is the library that I'm just drawing now, and as you can imagine, this is with my friend Charlie again and my other friend called Chloe. We used to, on our dinner breaks, go to the library and used to run around causing havoc to the librarian. We used to sneak through from an English room. We used to try and go in the lift, and she used to hate us. So this is me drawing me and Chloe. We became best friends in year 7. We used to have sleepovers, go out on days with our families, and yeah, Chloe used to pretend to break her leg, get some crutches from the hospital or from her grandma, and basically that meant that if she was on crutches, we could leave classroom 10 minutes early so we could go on dinner. So this is me drawing me and Chloe having a sleepover. We used to have regular sleepovers all the time, and on this occasion her mum let us have the tent and put it on the trampoline. So we also had our friend Charlie with us this night, and we had a bit of alcohol, and we decided to go for a midnight walk at midnight, as I've just said, and climb over the school fence as well. We were actually all petrified doing this, but it was something fun that we used to do. So this is me drawing me and Katie, who was another good friend of mine. Katie and me we got really close being in PE together, and we used to do running together. And then what we also used to do is, if it was raining in the winter and it was rugby or football, me and Katie used to write a doctor's note. Well, Katie actually had one from her mum because she hurt a coccyx, but I used to write her doctor's note, basically having an injury every time it was rugby, and we used to go and have a gossip for the rest of the PE lesson. So this is me drawing Callum and me. Me and Callum were class clowns together. We used to sit in IT. Callum used to push me off the chair. We used to just mess around. Callum used to call me small tits, mosquito bites, and everything like that. Callum would also get out magazines and be like, oh, look at those tits. And that was just Callum. I absolutely love this guy. We are still friends to this day, but he's actually moved to Australia. Next we have Freya. So Freya was the greb emo at school. Freya was quite quiet at school, but that is definitely not the case now. I mean, yeah, she's quiet in sort of large groups of people, but once she's had a bit of wine down her, she will make you laugh. She is the most hilarious person you will ever meet. I love Freya. Let's talk sports day. So I absolutely loved sports. And when it came to sports day, it was always a case that Mrs. Wallis' team and Mrs. Starbuck's team were always in competition. Most of the time, Mrs. Starbuck's team won, but that was because it did have the majority of the sporty people in. But sports day was my favourite. So then we went to college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do for a career, but sport was always my favourite and PE was my favourite at school. So I went and did a sports degree, not a degree, don't know what it's called, sports something, and I got the best grades ever. This is me drawing me and, who is it? Oh, a boyfriend. So this was a boyfriend at school. We originally were best friends, and he is such a lovely guy. We don't speak to this day, but he opened my eyes up massively because he was the most down-to-earth person, but he actually dealt with a lot of mental health, and it just opened my eyes up. So I won't ever forget him. So back to Freya. Me and Freya weren't that close at school, but as soon as we left school, we were best friends. We literally, again, were inseparable. We were the oldest ones out of our friendship group, so we were the ones that were able to go to town. We used to go to this club called the Walkabout. We used to have sleepovers. We just used to have the time of our life. When I have been at my lowest points in life, Freya has been that angel to help me through everything. Any breakup I've been through, Freya has been that girl. She's a lifesaver, and I couldn't thank her enough. So after college, I only had sort of an interest in wanting to be a personal trainer. I went to the gym about 5 to 6 times a week, and I absolutely loved it. But I soon drifted off sort of wanting to be a personal trainer because I didn't think it was actually going to be for me in the long run. So I stuck at Costa Coffee for a little bit longer, and I absolutely loved being a barista. I used to have some really cool work friends. We used to joke around. I used to make their coffees and secretly put like loads of different syrups in, such as caramel, vanilla, tomato sauce, anything you could think of. I just used to be a clown like I've always been. But after Costa Coffee, I then decided I wanted to go and work in a nursery. So I went and got an apprenticeship at a nursery. When I worked there, I soon realised this is not for me. So I then went, I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved the nursery. I loved sort of walking to go get the kids from school, going on sort of day trips. It was really cool, but again, like I said, it wasn't for me. So after the nursery, I went back to a cafe at a marina, which was such a lovely location, and I stayed there until I knew sort of what I wanted to do. So at the cafe, I met a girl called Becky, and we soon became best friends. As you can tell, I make a lot of my friends my best friends. Me and Becky were sort of inseparable. We went on double dates together. We used to go to cocktail places together, nights out. We used to have adventure days, and we soon went on our first girls' holiday. And we have always been on a holiday ever since. So this is me during the new place of work. So I finally realised I didn't want to work in a cafe any longer. So I wanted to be an estate agent. The reason being is because I used to love playing Sims. So I got my first job at Best Weaves, and this is me doing a viewing. So when I was 17, nearly 18, I went on my first girls' holiday with my best friend Hannah, and we went to Ibiza, and I was ill the whole time. The following year, we decided to book a trip to Kavos. Now, this didn't happen because my passport had expired, and that was literally the end of mine and Hannah's friendship for a good year or so. When we realised it had expired, we were actually at the airport. So next stop is me and Becky decided to go to Cyprus the following year. We actually went for a holiday just filled with wine and just sort of a girls' holiday. But this actually ended up being a massive piss up of a holiday. We had the best time of our life. This will be one of my favourite holidays that I will always remember. Nissi Beach was such a beautiful beach. It was so clear. We did everything. We partied all the time. We basically said we would go out once or twice, but we partied pretty much every night. We also saw Craig David live, and it was literally the best experience ever. We made a group of friends, a bunch of lads, Sam, Ben, Ollie and everyone else, and we just have the funniest stories to tell about those lads. So me and Becky, when we were in Ayia Napa, we went paragliding, and that was quite fun as well. So the following year, me and Becky decided to go to Croatia. Now, Croatia was one of the most fulfilling holiday destinations I have ever been to. It was full of boats, yachts. We had to get to this island to go to like a club place which was called Carpe Diem. We stayed on the island called Hvar. We met Dapper Laughs, and it was just amazing. This is me and Sophia. Sophia is a friend I know through our ex-partners. We love to go to the gym together. We go on nights out together, and we went to Ibiza the same year as I went to Croatia. And Ibiza was just amazing. We had some messy nights, but it was also an amazing holiday. So when I was 23 years old, I purchased my first property. I soon turned 24, and I'm still 24 now. I'm currently still renovating the property, and this is where I am at now. So what's next, I guess? I hope you enjoyed this video, and please give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next one. Thank you.